Hello, hello, hello. This is preview. This is now live. Great. Hi, welcome to my live simulcast of the Peak Design travel line. This is a Kickstarter project that is going to be fully funded in about 28 days. And they are a hugely successful company, and I'm a big fan of their products. You can actually watch this live yourself directly off of the Kickstarter page, which is exactly where I'm going to be broadcasting this from. I'm just rebroadcasting this because some of you can't watch it on Kickstarter, and some of you want to watch it on YouTube a little bit earlier, and some of you might be at work and you cannot access Kickstarter for whatever reason. I actually personally like to watch this on the big screen on my Chromecast, which I directly connect to YouTube. So as soon as the broadcast goes live and I just basically connect the two together to Simulcast. I'm going to go watch it there myself. But there are a couple things I want to talk about. If you didn't know, I already created a lot of videos analyzing the new Peak Design travel line, which is, of course, what this video is about. And I had some really great comments. So I want to highlight a couple of them right here. One of the first ones was about, well, Danielle made a great one, but there was one here where I thought that I should mention. Francisco Cervantes said, this is on my video, I guess the live Hangout number 3, please help me include in one of your videos a petition to Peak Design to make a packable day pack that will fit in the front panel of the 45-liter travel backpack. I think that will. I think with that, they just will have the best backpack in the market so far. I thought that was a really great idea, and I mean, obviously, this is not something they're going to be able to do during this campaign, as far as I know. But I do have a solution, and I mentioned that real briefly in a comment down below, and it's something I already own, so that's why I feel like it's going to be something I can suggest for anybody who's interested before Peak Design potentially creates one. Is by Tom Bin. They have something called a packing cube backpack. This thing is basically lays really flat. It comes in a number of different colors that comes in and out all the time. And they also have various different sizes. I have the Aeronaut 45, which was by the Wirecutter, one of the best traveling carry-on travel type kind of suitcase, soft suitcase. And anyways, this fits the entire length of that bag, but you can also use it not only as a packing cube backpack, but also as a packing cube itself. You just basically just fill it up and it'll just kind of pack up the whole part. This could slip right into the front of the Travel Line 45-liter. Probably no problem. If you want to get a smaller size, they also have another one for the TriStar and Western Flyer. This will be a little bit slimmer, but this would be a great addition to your Peak Design travel line. For that entire front, in case you don't want to use any more of their compression cubes and you want to bring a really slim backpack too. This is made of halcyon fabric, which is very, very durable and very lightweight. So this will definitely help with part of the weight problem. Okay, another comment that I wanted to highlight. Someone did a pretty good analysis here. Danielle, I'm not even going to try to pretend to to pronounce Danielle's last name. She said, I feel the travel line is less stylish than the everyday backpack. I feel the same way as well. After thinking about it, I realized I feel this way because the travel line is balancing less colors than the everyday. And when she says everyday, she's talking about the everyday backpack. Note, I'm specifically referring to the ash gray backpacks, as that is my personal favorite style. Mine as well. That's the one I got. I know many people love the full black style and that's all fine. I'm talking about me. Yep, same here. So the black style is great because it helps you to be a little bit more discreet and it makes the bag look like just about every other bag. But some of us really love the style that Peak Design really put into some of their bags, and I really like the ash gray design. So she goes on to say the ash gray everyday backpack balances 5 colors: one main body, bluish gray, leather brown, metallic gray, thread blue, and zipper black. That's true. It's definitely a little bit more, more complicated to manufacture with all those different ingredients. The travel line now only balances 3 colors. The main body, greenish gray, they call it sage green, a similar zipper gray, and a leather brown in only one spot. But this practically is just one gray color with one brown highlight. overall, one, the main body gray is greenish rather than bluish, and to me, at least less visually appealing. I agree. I really wish that they kept the ash. The brown leather highlights are too few. Again, also agree. The zipper pulls don't have leather highlights. The handles don't have leather highlights. The loops don't have leather highlights. Yes, this is all completely true. It definitely makes the bag feel a little bit more generic and less stylish. The blue threading highlight is entirely missing, yeah, at least from the samples that we saw. No gray metallic parts as highlights either. Yeah, also seems to be the case, but you know, the ones we're looking at are still prototypes, so there is still 28 days. Because there's 28 days left, you know, things have changed. The whole travel line is nearly entirely once and gray. This makes it visually boring in comparison to the very stylish ash gray everyday backpack. In conclusion, functionally, the travel line has more to offer than everyday, but visually, the everyday is more stylish. I agree with you 100%. But unfortunately, that's all they're going to have right now. And, you know, functionality. Functionality is definitely more important to me personally than style, but you know, I do have my everyday backpack and I love it a lot, and I actually get spotted and commented all the time when I have it on by other fellow people who know about the bag. Okay, I just want to talk about that real quick, and now I'm going to go ahead and try to switch this right over to the live, so bear with me as I switch on over. I actually have this streaming from a different computer, so I'm going to go ahead and jump over that computer right now and load that up. There we go. Stay tuned. Peak Design is starting soon. There we go. Let's double check that this is all live and going. Why is there still no audio? Stay tuned.
Victor's going to turn a few more lights on for us, and then we'll get started. Be sure to ask your questions either in the chat or in the Q&A section. Oh, yeah, Q&A is good, Jen says, because people can upvote. Sort of a viral effect might take place.
This is a golden safe if you want to snap.
Oh, that's sweet. Look at this. We got a luggage tag on this one right now from someone's traveling, just to add a level of authenticity. Lock it, Kathy Pacific.
Came back from Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Jerry says hello.
Jerry. Hey, Jerry. Yeah, things are exciting right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. The Kickstarter continues to hum along. As of recording and broadcasting for this video, we're almost at $3 million, which is wild, and we are thankful for every bit of that. A bunch of the soft goods team just came back from Vietnam, where they spent some quality but intense time with our manufacturing partners over there. Everything is going really well, and the bags are looking phenomenal. And so we brought some stuff back with us, which we'll show you. We've also got a few that are slightly, it's like a mix mash of our most recent samples, and things are beginning to move into production also. I broke one of those power adapters on that light. I'm sorry, I should have said that like 5 minutes ago.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
I'm Lawrence. I'm the art director. This is
Victor. I'm the video producer.
most of the time Victor is on that side of the camera. You might know our work from the instructionals.
Kickstarter video?
Kickstarter. I mean, this guy did the Kickstarter video. He played every role. He did all the cameras.
Had to lose a lot of weight for that role. And grow my hair out.
He recorded all the music on a harmonica. It was really amazing. All right, welcome to the Photography Hangout. Today we are focusing on camera cubes, carrying different loads of gear. workflows, especially stuff that Vic and I have started to discover and work through as we've both used these extensively. I do a lot of the still photography here in the office, and Vic, as we were just saying, does a lot of the video work, all the video work effectively. Art and some of the soft goods designers are standing by. I've also got Mark and Jen and Brian, who you guys are familiar with some of their work if you've ever been on the website or if you've ever sent a customer service email ever. And we're coming to you live from room 411. This is the design side of the office, the workshop. We got new fluorescent lights put in this morning. So that brutal bright light, which I can see on that screen, really brings out the pale in my body. Oh my God, I blend into
this side is like nuclear over here.
It's like dressing room lighting.
All right. So what I was thinking is that we could go through these setups, talk about what's in them, and then do sort of a Q&A section. Use the chat. If a question comes up, if you guys see a question related to what we were talking about immediately right then and there, we can talk about it, and then otherwise we'll push that to the end of the Hangout. So what we've got is a bunch of pre-packed camera cubes. We rented some gear. We scrounged around for all the, a lot of people in here do different types of photography. And then we've got the office equipment that we do a lot of work on. And we've just populated all of these camera cubes out. And so we'll take a closer look at what the setups look like. And we had funny nicknames for all of them. So we'll see if we can remember what all those funny nicknames are.
I don't know if they were appropriate.
Oh,
okay.
Oh. Which one should we start with? You want to start with this one? Yes, the internet.
Why don't we start with this one since I'm most familiar with this one. This is my A7S kind of quick go-to rig. Down here you'll find the A7S with the 70-200 lens. And then I like to put a little divider on top of it just to kind of keep it from shaking around during travel. And then I got some, prime lenses littered throughout and a couple of zoom lenses on the side here.
You know what? While we're talking about this, where did those dividers go? I set 4 of them right up here. No, not those. Those. So when we're talking about it, and you can see the dividers sort of from the top down as we show the stuff like this, we'll also have a couple dividers out here that we can reference to show you just what we're talking about. So there are, for our camera cubes, 4 flavors essentially of dividers: short, long, shelf, and the floating pocket. Ooh, nice.
So actually what I have here in the middle is the floating pocket. So,
oh, you're going top down?
Yeah. You can load up your SD cards in there, whatever you need, small items. And then, I don't know why it was top down. Well, it's not going to happen. But there you can kind of see the basic layout.
Yeah, I guess Art could hold the camera.
I'll play the camera.
Oh God, here we go! Whoa! That's great. It looks good.
You got it, Richard.
Sweet. Yeah. So this one is set up right now, and we'll show you in a minute. I think what we'll go. Let's go through the loadouts, and then we'll talk about on-body access and all that with the bag. But this one, as you can see, the body is down here at the bottom, and on this medium camera cube, the side access door is right here, so that when it's in your bag, you can get in and out and grab it by the grip and pull the whole thing out. As we've mentioned a couple of times in the past, this dimension, the width, which is essentially almost both the dimensions on this medium cube, it's the length dimension on a small camera cube, and then it's the width of a large camera cube. It is perfect for either a Sony like this or a full frame with a 70-200 on it, which we have a ton of, and you'll see more of as we continue to go through all these loadouts.
Just so you can see, this is a 70-200 on there.
You want to show off those pockets now that we're a little bit closer? So for the dividers,
Oh, the ones in here?
or just
Oh, yeah.
style, so they're not little.
Yeah, a little more realistic here. Short. These are great for just dividing and bridging spaces. The long, which on your medium and large camera cubes will help you to create long walls that you can use the short one and the shelf to kind of come off of and divide those long spaces. Shelf has the built-in shelf, which is great for primes and chargers and stuff like that, sort of prime-sized stuff, prime lens-sized stuff. You can stack one on top of the other. And then the floating pocket, which can go, I mean, geez, anywhere with Velcro. It's pretty amazing. It's got, let me see, stitched webbing in here. It's webbing, correct, Art? What's our material?
Yeah, it's an elastic one.
Elastic. And so it's got pockets in here perfectly shaped for memory cards, especially like an SD card in a plastic case. And then a bigger sort of like compartment right here that's really good for card readers, filters, cases full of cards, et cetera, that kind of stuff. Cool. Well, let's go.
So, yeah, that's a basic Sony kit.
What's our fun? I was a wedding photographer for a while. Had my own wedding photography business in Austin, Texas when I lived there. I'm from Texas. Yeah, I got my Houston Astros hat on. Go Astros. The American League West is super hot right now.
Got my A's shirt on. Go A's.
The American League West is super hot right now.
I'm getting behind.
Okay, wedding. So, in my experience, this is sort of the monster setup. This is what you need to shoot a good wedding. Is a full frame with a 24-6 holder. This is like essentially a kit lens, a 35-135. You can fit into these sort of compartments some pretty good sized lenses, or speed light, which we've got here with the mag mod on it. And if you guys don't use mag mod, you need to get on that train. Stacking with primes in here. I probably wouldn't use this when I was shooting a wedding, but I do swear by these pancake lenses because I just use them all the time. You could fit a much taller lens in here, probably something twice as high as that, at least. We've got this weird little 50 macro that's going sideways across there. So actually for a wedding, a lot of times I had people request sort of like macro shots of like the rings or,
Get those detail shots a lot.
Yeah, detail shots. Anyways, pop it in. That's on a shelf too, so you can have something below that. This is a great setup if you're doing a single body wedding, and you could easily put a grip on the bottom of this. The height would be fine. We've got some gripped cameras, and we'll show those off in a minute. So, any live questions about the wedding kit?
Somebody has a question, like maybe since you were going through that, can you basically take everything out and take even the dividers and show how like you would set it up?
Oh, setting it up.
Fully empty. She wants to see how you would fully set it up.
They're not going to be able to hear her questions, so you're going to have to.
It's a lot of both yourself.
The question was if we could empty it and show a setup, and absolutely we can. What I'm wondering is if we should continue going through these example kits and then treat that as the next section where we'll talk about setting up. So I think that's what we're going to do. So question received. All right, let's move on to another. Are there any more mediums?
I think that's it. Maybe we should go to the small.
Yeah, the small is actually the last one we packed, so it's actually not that impressive of a kit, but we can just use some stuff to show it. Oh, you put some stuff in it.
How about that access for a second?
This incredible access right here. Let's just show that again. Watch this. Watch how quick that is.
Someone wants to know if Seth Rogen knows you're using his body.
You can sign right off. That's amazing, isn't it?
Was he talking about me?
Yeah, who's he talking about?
Nobody's asking if DJ Khaled knows you.
Hashtag blessed.
So the small camera cube has quick access. That is buttery smooth.
So nice.
Art, why did you put that on here?
Quick access.
Oh, okay.
So if you've got the back of the bag open, which we'll show in a minute, and you've got your small cube or multiple cubes in there, you can just zip them right open, which is sweet. Or if they're out and you're just using it as like a carrying unit, or it's in a different company's bag, or if you've got it on a strap, you can just get it open. And then it's super quick to close. You just do that. Amazing. Okay. In this kit, 2 bodies right now, at least. Actually, we might have 3 bodies in there. But this is just sort of to show. The small comes with 2 shelves, I believe. Is that correct? I think so. God, I should not say things with that level of uncertainty on these Hangouts. Yeah.
Confidence.
Is it coming too?
Jen's checking on that right now.
Anyways, while Jen's looking at that, we'll show what's in here. So this is essentially a full frame. It's actually my little. It's not little. It's a 35 millimeter, 2 shelves, 1 pocket. So you can put in a full frame camera with grip side facing up, get it out easily. That's cool. This also has Rachel's Fuji X-T2. These are awesome cameras. And that one's sort of set up to go face down, the width of it taking up the width here, grab the grip, pull it out.
Go horizontal with that. Yeah, like that.
Oh, yeah, it's not bad.
Grab that.
Yeah, and then, you put a little lens on the shelf. This is cool. This is a little rangefinder. So this is not really, if you're like a camera collector, maybe this is a good way to do it.
If you're going to Antique Roadshow,
Yeah,
this might be the bag for you.
The collector's kit. Do we have a 70 to 200 sitting around? Let's just show that off. So here's another 5D with a 70 to 200. Take all your dividers out. Pop that in. Super easy. Nice.
You have a Mavic that you can show the
I left the Mavic at home.
I left my Mavic at home, guys.
We do have, there's the picture on the page, and we can certainly.
This is great for a Mavic. It's just the right size, gives you enough space.
Mavic and it's like an A6000 or something.
A6000 with a short lens on it, like a pancake, I think would fit pretty nice.
Because you'd be doing the A6000
Yeah.
body and sideways lens facing this direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can maybe even put like a 16 to 35 on there, or possibly even a 24 to 70 if you kind of laid it down like this.
Let's get that 24 to 70 out. That was in the wedding one.
Yeah, that should take the same amount of space if it's lens down.
Yeah.
For the A6000.
Well, that's a big body camera though. They're asking about a small.
Oh, on like a smaller camera.
Yeah. So let's get this A6000. This is an A7S, and we'll get that 24 to 70.
What about the spark? Have you packed the spark into any of the keys?
I don't know where our Office Spark went. Yeah, it doesn't fold down. But did they come out with a new Spark?
The Spark is somewhere in the East River in New York, according to Olish.
Yeah.
God.
Maybe hard for his birthday.
For a
How many
company,
drones have we lost in rivers?
I believe that's the fourth one.
Well, lake and rivers. Yeah.
Lake and Rivers. Good point, Jen.
But so here's a 24 to 70 on a Sony A7S, and
Going
then it would
straight
still
down?
give you kind of some space there to.
Pop this guy in there. Get that guy really close, maybe.
Yeah, this might be pushing it for the Mavic actually.
Well, we might have to try that one out.
Yeah, this lens is just a tad too long. I would recommend a short lens if you wanted to pack, say, a Mavic and a small body camera in here.
Let's
The one
see.
here says Mavic 2 for exclamation.
Oh, it just came out today.
Yeah,
Um,
we're on the waiting list.
yeah. Great. Can't wait to lose it.
Can't wait to drop that in.
Uh,
Watercolor.
so, yeah, so this is a, so we showed the 70 to 200. Here's a 24 to 70 on a 5D. And what I've done is put that XT2 in here, but you could also put in a good size lens right there, right
Well, obviously, anything that can go wrong will go wrong during a live stream. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about that. That is completely over on their end. Let's see what we could do here. Nothing really. I think they probably just have to reboot the computer or something. Wait, I hear something. Looks like they're back. Well, obviously. Nope, no, they're not. They're not back. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Nope, absolutely nothing I can do. Just jump right in here. Let's see, I gotta turn off the audio here. All right, so obviously it looks like their system is still down. They're trying to get back up. Hoping they'll be able to get it back up soon because we're about to show some of the other loadouts with the camera inserts, of which if you were interested in getting all of the bags, you should back for the biggest one because you have the biggest saving, about $50 or so. You can always change it later, all the way up until the end of the 28 days or so. So I am kind of on the fence on how I'm going to use those, but just as a safety precaution measure, I went ahead and backed all of them as well. So there's one thing that I do want to check out is if I ever get a chance to go up to San Francisco sometime before the campaign ends, I do want to go check out all the stuff in person and try a couple of loadouts to see how my gear will fit in. But when I'm traveling, I typically want to just bring my mirrorless kit rather than a full-frame kit, and so far in their loadout, it's been primarily bigger bodies. And if there's one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed about in my everyday carry backpack, which I actually don't have my mirrorless kit in right now. I'm going to go ahead and grab that while we are waiting for their system to come back on, is that it is not really great for micro four thirds or tiny little lenses. And that's because the dividers, if you already have one of those, you probably share the same thoughts. Their dividers are probably better for bigger items or bigger lenses, even though they have these little shelves down here that you can go ahead and adjust. But look at what happens here in my everyday carry backpack. You see that shelf there? This would be fine if it would hold it, but I have this wide opening right here where it could fall off the shelf and into the rest of the stuff. So here's an example of that, and this is it's probably going to be true with the travel everyday line backpack and cubes. So you see I have it configured like this, right? It's okay. It looks like the shelf will hold, but it's also a little bit it's kind of semi-rigid, but as you see, there's a bit of flexibility in there that could potentially allow a really tiny lens to fall through the cracks and thus potentially scratch the rest of the items in my bag. Okay, so the origami is really great design idea in principle. It's kind of like minimalist, but at the same time, when I'm carrying around a 15mm lens, one of my favorite ones, let me go grab that over here. Well, let's see if I have the 15 out here or not. No, I don't have the 15 out here. Let's say I'm carrying around a 7.5mm lens. This guy, naked by itself, and I put it in one of the shelves. You see how little space that takes? You see how much? Do you see how much movement there is on that shelf? I'm going to have the same problems in the travel line cubes too, because there's all this movement. So what I'm going to have to do is get little individual lens cases for all these and throw them on in there as well, and that kind of further adds to the weight and complexity of the things that I carry. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I was looking at the camera bag inserts. You know, it's not going to solve my issues with traveling with teeny tiny little prime lenses for micro four thirds in my bag, unless I get some other camera lens things. But other than that, I think when I was talking about my just before they launched, I was saying it'd be great is you have the camera bag inserts that allows you to go ahead and attach their camera straps directly to them, and they did design for that. In case you missed it, that's one of the things that's going to be great about it, so that when I do, let's say hypothetically, this is my travel line 45 liter, I'm going to go ahead and be able to take out that cube, put on my Peak Design strap, and just kind of strap it as kind of my everyday, every day while I'm traveling type of little camera bags type of pouch thing. And it's made of just basically similar materials as the rest of the bag, so it's going to have similar amount of protection, but it won't be a backpack anymore. Now it's just going to be kind of a shoulder strap. So that's why it's still going to, it's really difficult to be able to design the perfect bag, especially for travel, one bag travel. So another big complaint while we're talking about this is that the 45-liter travel line is kind of heavy if you are going to be traveling internationally and you want to carry only one bag. And that's because a lot of the bag restrictions are such that even though the bag size is 22 by 8 by 14 right now, and I'm talking about when I'm traveling in Asia, there's a 15-pound limit, a 15 US pound limit for your carry-on. So if it looks like it's going to be heavy, I mean a full flight, and it looks like your bag is right at the limit of the size, they're probably going to want to weigh your bag. And more likely than not, especially if I'm traveling with a laptop too, and in my camera gear, you know, my iPad, I'm going to exceed that 15-pound limit like no tomorrow. So, you know, it's just not going to work out for international travel. At least between the U.S., and I'm talking about between my experiences between the U.S. and traveling over to Asia or overseas in economy class. I think there's even a bit of a limitation for business class unless you get first class or something. So I think unfortunately, there is still no perfect bag when it comes to a situation like that. So in those type of situations, the only way to get around that is to have a jacket, and a jacket like the Scott E-Vest. And what you do is you're wearing the jacket, and then inside the jacket you can put in your heavy lenses in the various different pockets. My wife got me one that is kind of discontinued, but it has like 30-some different pockets. You can fit an iPad and stuff in there. That's one of the only few ways to get around the weight limitation, because technically you're wearing it and it's not part of your luggage. So, so the problem with the 45 liters is not only about the weight limit, but it's right there at the very edge of the size. So even though you're kind of wearing it as a backpack, because of the size, when you're doing the check-in, and this is highly, your mileage may vary. There's been some times where I've gone and, you know, there were no issues, they don't bother checking it. But since this is right at that limit, unless you fully compress it, it looks really small, they're going to want to weigh that, and then they're going to put on that tag, whether or not this is a check-in only, or whether or not it's been checked by them. And basically, if it's been checked by them, they'll then give you the go-ahead. So with all the features that this bag has, you know, and then you're putting in the camera cubes, and you're putting in the the packing cubes and everything. Pretty soon, with all the features you put in there, you're going to have a bag that is already really darn close to the limit. So I'm saying, I think I did a quick brief calculation, and it was something like, I put in all the stuff in there, it's like 8 pounds, so at most I can bring up to 8 pounds worth of stuff for one bag carry-on travel. All right, this obviously is not going to be an issue if you check in your bag at all, but who's going to check in your bag when it is full of camera gear, right? So that's the problem that we're all facing, and unfortunately, this is one of those types of bags that is not going to help you out with that. Now, for travel within the United States, you know, there's no problem at all. The only thing you got to contend with is the weight on your bag. And as Peak Design themselves have said, they said that, you know, they really designed this bag such that it's just to get you from point to point. You're still going to rely on main transportation, public transportation, Uber. This is at most going to take you from your Uber to the airline where you keep it down, to the check-in, and then to the hotel. So, you know, that's the idea of the bag. And with that in mind, so what I'm going to do is definitely going to go ahead and get I don't have the Sling Design 5-liter yet, but I'm going to use the 5-liter, and I have the 10-liter. Let's see if I have the 10-liter lying around. So in the last Hangout, they mentioned that the 10-liter was going to go ahead and not be able to fit well, and they did fit it horizontally, but it was kind of bulging out from the side, so they definitely don't recommend it. You put it in vertically, it basically takes up the entire space. But with the 5-liter, I'm going to be able to take the place of one of the smaller camera cubes. So I'll have one 5-liter there, and then another small, and then, or actually just the 5-liter, and then the medium camera cube. Or if I'm traveling really light and I'm really just not going to bring much photo gear at all, photo or video gear, I'll have the 5-liter up top, and then I'll have the small camera cube in the middle, and then another small packing cube down below. And so with that, without expanding, I'm able to do, carry-on style, and, I'd be able to handle the weight with no real problems, even if I had to walk a mile or two between the airport, public transportation, and hotel, or walk around with it, right? Looks like I had to reload again.
And then, oh boy, 300 to 500. This is Tom's lens. It's gotten a lot of great quail pictures. Tom's getting into birding. His biggest weakness as a birder, I think, is that he identifies every bird as a quail.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, but the pictures are pretty good.
Clearly, it's a vulture.
Yeah, clearly that's a vulture, Tom. We can say whatever we want about Tom. He won't watch these videos.
Shut up, Tom.
Shut up, Tom. We've also got a little card holder right in here. This is kind of a cool thing I like to do with dividers, is where you sort of create a little U shape like this. Can you see that? So this one, and you can create a small little pocket. I actually do that on my everyday backpack, and it's a great way to divide that space up. Okay, so this is dividing it this way, and we'll show in a minute. This is really cool. This is pretty good for on-body access. But let's say we wanted, oh, what were you about to say?
That's the main reason to have it set up this way, was to get to the side body access. We'll show that in a second. So that's why we kind of laid it out this way.
So let's say you want to utilize the length of that large camera cube and squeeze something in. This is what you've all been waiting for. Maximum lens carry. What can you do with these things? All right. So we can move these out. These are just to show that you can hold stuff in there. This is a 500 1.4 for Nikon. It's got your monopod bracket right here, and it's got the attached carbon fiber lens hood. Is it really carbon fiber, or do you think they just put like the sticker stuff that people put on their Hondas?
I'm going to say it's Nikon, so it's probably just carbon fiber. And I believe this is an F4, just to be clear.
Yeah. Oh, F4. Yeah, I wrote that. Not a 1K. 500 1.4. The longest, fastest lens ever created.
We'll get to that one soon, I think.
Okay, 500 F4. Sorry. It's still a great lens. If you have it, don't feel bad. You're probably taking really great quail pictures.
Yeah, great vulture quail pictures.
So what we've done here is, let me move this a little bit, doubled the long dividers on each other. And what you get by doing that is essentially an extra long wall that doubles on itself in a few places. And it also sort of like conforms nicely as the lens gets bigger down here. And you've got your lens in here. It's a little off center. If I were to do it again and not be in a rush as we were trying to get the webcam set up, I'd probably move it a tiny bit. But your large camera cube will also come with some shelves and small dividers. The small ones you can use and subdivide the space on either side. You could push this all the way to the side. In fact, why don't we just do that real quick? Yeah, you can see it takes some force to get them off, which is what you want. You don't want these things to be delicately placed on there. Where do I want to put my bracket? I'll get it like that. All right, and so let's say that I've also got, I don't know, another body with a 70 to 200. And then some lenses. Ooh, 18 to 35 Sigma. What? Oh, God, the autofocus.
Bummer. Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. It's really freaking out.
Hold it steady, Mark.
Okay.
Pull it back a little bit. And then I'll just do it.
Excellent shot.
It's really uncomfortable. Cool. 500 f4. You know what? While we've got it, let me get my tape measure and just rattle off some dimensions on this thing. This lens is it's like 39 or 40 centimeters. And then at its widest point over here at the hood, something like, I don't know, 14, 15 centimeters. And then let's close it for good measure. No problems there. Sweet. And we do have one other monster lens. Let's show that off.
Quick note about these handles too. You'd be surprised how sturdy this is. I mean, I probably had about 30, 40 pounds with the camera gear. No problem.
Okay. 400 2.8. So this one's actually not as long, but it might be a little wider.
It is wider. It's got a bigger lens on it. It is a 2.8.
Oh, that's a crazy lens.
It's for really crisp
20 or
quails.
something? Whales?
Quails.
Quails. Want to get in here?
Yeah, I just want to measure on the end here just to get a. This is actually. I mean, this thing is. It's a straight up coffee can, so it's about. It's 18.5 cm for the record.
Right in here. Yeah. And so the bracket does, unless maybe I can put that on its side. There we go. The mount, rather. It's in there.
So it is a little bit beyond the depth of the cube, but it should.
Someone says thanks for sharing that because he has one. Also, he can't wait for more quill. Take more quill.
Nice.
Sweet.
Maybe he's a mechanical engineer too. Bring him on board. That's what Tom does. So you do have the protection, like Art was saying. This is, what was it, 18 centimeters or so? That's with the hood on it. So you got the protection of the hood. You got a layer here, and then you got the layer of the bag.
Also, Stu wants to know if that lens comes with a chiropractor subscription.
You show the and you should show the just the.
Yeah, you want to see the glass on this thing?
Holy cow.
Let's put that up to your head, dude.
No, let me look through the back here. Can you see my eyeball?
Almost.
That's awesome. What is this retail for? We rented this. We don't own this.
Canon 400 millimeter, 2.8. I'm gonna say 10.
10,000?
9999.
Straight nines.
I lost on the prices right rules.
Yeah.
Sony's 1200
12,000?
or 12,000. Yeah. Sony.
That's crazy.
Same with Nikon.
Funny story. In addition to having been a,
Fuji one that's 96,000.
I don't need that. I was a wedding photographer. I also was a sports photographer briefly when I was at the University of Texas as a photojournalism undergrad. Did football and basketball. This lens would be useless for a basketball game. Unless you needed like
Just close up to the hands. That's all you got.
hands. I actually found a fixed 400 or a fixed 300 for football was really awesome.
Yeah, this is definitely kind of the
Football lens.
football special right
Or
there. With the
birding.
2.8, super fast. Or birding. Or
Quailing, as it were. Yeah, same as with that other one. If you've got your divider sort of, this is a little bit past the middle, which you've got to do to accommodate this width. You can fit some stuff in here, subdivide the space and use this as needed. Your Fuji, I guess, whatever you got. Or you could put two monster lenses, one and then the other. Is that all the large camera cubes that we got?
Okay, that, and then we got.
Oh, did we show off this one already? Yeah, this was the Tom setup. This was the. We didn't have a name for it.
This one's set up for side axis.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about side axis. And while I'm showing that up, do you want to put a medium into a backpack?
I can do that, yeah. And also, here's this guy real quick.
This is a medium camera cube kitted with a Peak Design slide camera strap. Oh, this is pre-production, or this is an early sample. People get to see cool stuff. They like seeing cool stuff.
No,
People are
it's
asking
old.
for
It's old.
It's the old grip, but on the newer hard.
Yeah,
Don't worry. Don't. You're looking in the wrong place. Look at this. Look at the new thing. Buy this. So what I would probably do is just creep it open a little bit. I wouldn't open it all the way if I wanted to get a thing out. Like, let's say I wanted to get my Blackmagic like monitor.
Never know what you want there.
Or my 51.4 Sigma. You also could you use the side access door if it's on your body like this? Like that could be pretty sweet.
Yeah, bring that way.
Look what I got. 7200 on that center. Click, click. That's awesome. Put it right back in. That's not bad at all.
If you flip it around, it carries even better.
Which direction? Like door towards me?
Yeah,
Let's try that out.
So closer to the body that way.
Real tough to get into your gear, but
Oh, no one could come up and open it. Which doesn't happen to us, but I don't doubt when our backers have concerns about it. That's not bad. Oh, wrong side. So yeah, I'd want to set up my dividers accordingly. You've seen on a lot of ours, we have sort of the Y shape towards the door that will be for your on-body access. Let's talk about on-body. That's cool. Here's a medium. I'll give that back to Art. All right. Here's a 45. Looking good. Thanks, bud.
Do you want to quickly show what's in there, just so people see what we're talking about in terms of what it is 24 pounds?
We had it open. That's the top bundle. Let's do on-body access for the other two size camera cubes while we're here. Actually, did you set up a medium cube? While he's doing that, then I will do the tripod theory. So, here's a three-legged thing. This might be, oh, no, I always do this one. Yep. Gusseted back. Opens it right up. Yeah, that Gitso should be comfy. Okay, let me do it on this one.
No.
Oh yeah, didn't need a strap. Oh man, should I just break the news there one right now? Art had mentioned on our last hangout, and this was not correct. He misspoke, and he's already apologized. You can apologize right here.
sorry.
These bags will come with 2 external carry straps.
1, 2.
And hear me out. This is a super tall Gitso right now. The length of this pocket right here means that it does not need any sort of strap to hold it in. So with the bag, the way it comes, with 2 straps, you can carry something on the front and have a good sized tripod in the side pocket and be super comfortable and confident in your carry. The reason we're doing this is just, we think it's the best way to use the bag first and foremost. It also doesn't make the vast majority of people who would be using the 2 external carry straps maximum pay for 2 extra strap, or for us to create the waste by making those things. And extra external carry straps will be available as a thing you can purchase. We'll figure all that out, those details later on. Trust us when we say we wouldn't put a thing into the Kickstarter if we didn't believe in it in terms of how it works.
On extra straps.
Yeah, we're not going to do they won't be super expensive. So I'm sure we'll answer some questions about that. Don't take it out on Stuart Hicks. Take it out on, I guess, on Art.
Why don't we blame Tom?
Tom, God, he's always saying shit. Anyways, I think the biggest takeaway, though, is that these pockets on the side are so deep. They have the elastic in them. They kind of hug the tripod when you put it in there. It's in there. It's not going anywhere, so you'll be fine. This Gitso, when packed, is how long? 43 centimeters or so. And that was in there fine.
Back in there, and we throw it on body just so people can read. That's like
Let's pop it on.
not going anywhere. Call that the shuffle truffle.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Still there.
Right. So now that we got that out of the way.
Anyone know what the length of that tripod is?
Yeah, it's. I think I just said 44 centimeters. Yeah, roughly 44. This 3-legged thing, which is a little bigger around, is 34. Oh, while we're breaking bad news to you. As we've gotten closer and closer to what we call the golden sample and production ready products, we have discovered that a Phantom drone does not fit into a large camera cube. It's just too tight. And so we're going to take that off the page. And I guess that's just that.
Get yourself a Mavic Pro now.
Yeah, you gotta get on the Mavic.
Mavic Pro 2.
They it's too snug. Zips don't work properly. It's a mess.
I think the problem for me was that it was putting too much pressure on the motors, which you don't want to do.
Right, which is the 30 liter has a little more depth. Yeah, might as well show it. Talking about it. Whoop. Here, why don't you show that? Yeah, that's a good point, Vic. It's sort of a drawback to this design, which you can see why DJI moved away from it for a handful of reasons. But one of the highest surfaces is also one of the most delicate. Like the gimbal's protected really well, but the motors, even with these caps, are not. They're like they're just up highest. So yeah,
you had to get to a location.
We are not recommending this. Don't do it. It doesn't fit. We're taking it off the page. Ugh. It just feels dirty. Get that Mavic. Tell them Peak Design sent you.
Sorry about that, guys.
So Art is setting up a medium camera cube.
I think it's in that strap one.
Inside a 45 liter so that we can show off the on-body access. Stand by. Actually, while he's doing that, let me get that.
Not going to work well. Or, Art.
Do you have any bigger tripods, like 58 centimeters?
I left my Manfrotto at the store. I should have brought it. Those bigger ones, I will show it in a second. I really feel. Yeah, there's a ton of different ways you can do it. You can put the whole thing on the front and use the external carry straps. You could put just a couple of the legs inside the side pocket and then use something to tie the legs together. That you would want to use an external carry strap to hold it snug against the bag, I bet. Which is similar to how the Everyday Messenger holds a tripod. Did you hear the question? Question was about larger tripods than this.
In addition to external carry stuff?
Well, I think the external carry would be the play to use the straps exclusively, probably on the front.
Yeah, if you have a giant tripod, I would either strap the tripod to the front of the bag, or do one leg in the side pocket with an external carry strap around it.
Tying the whole thing, cinching it down. This is the large one that we just did on-body access with. We've got our C-clips in here. I think you can see those pretty well. The C-clips they come with each of the camera cubes. They're great little things. They've got a little sprung clasp. And then you just slide them through. There's videos on the page already, but you slide them through the webbing on both your cube and the bag, and then you just pop it down, and they're locked on there. And they are super strong. So on this particular setup here with the large cube, what do we got? There are.
Quick note that it's great to make it security.
Yeah, you don't need to use them by any means. And actually, with the large camera cube, I think this is the least necessary because you're effectively taking up most of the bag. I think it makes more sense with the small, which we'll show in a second.
Side access, yeah.
Only time.
Yeah, with the side access. When the weight of the bag when you're carrying it is different than the way that the bag is oriented in the whole thing. Here, let me just show
side access on the medium camera cube.
Yeah.
I'll set it up.
Nope, wrong side.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
This means I gotta go left-handed.
Old southpaw.
This is the medium packing cube. Set up for side access. Similar to the large camera cube.
Yeah.
So you can see the length is a little shorter there.
And if you scroll back earlier in the video and look at the way we had a lot of those cubes set up, you'll notice that the cameras are sort of in that Y shape with the dividers, especially on the large and on the medium camera cubes, which puts the grip whichever direction you choose when you mount it, but it effectively will put the grip in a place where you can pull it out for your side access. And it makes it easily accessible if you're coming in through the back of the bag, the 45 liter. Art is setting up a side access small camera cube. Why don't we show back access of the medium while we're here? Nice. So the whole time Vic was doing that, he had the lid, I can't see the screen, tucked away. So what's nice about when you tuck the lid away on any of these is that the sixth wall, you might call it, right here, is actually that function is being performed by the back panel of your backpack. And so when you set this thing down and open it up, your gear is right here and it's ready to go, which is fantastic. This one does have the C-clips holding it in. I think that's a little more reasonable to do on the medium than it is on the large, because I guess this thing could get jostled around and move this direction. Not super likely, especially if this is packed out, but you might as well. I mean, there's no reason not to.
I would suggest that if you're going to go heavy on the side access, to keep it locked in, because you just don't want this moving up and down and not be prepared for where that flap's going to open.
That's a good point. I think also if you're doing side access, or if you take out your primary, like the main thing that's taking up the space, all of a sudden when the bag is back on your back, there's like a lot of weight without a lot of structure in that dimension. And so the clips will hold the bag in place so that when you go back for side access, you can easily get it in. Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically on a heavy day, if you're going to be in and out of your bag, I would keep it clipped in just for security and for, like we're saying, like that, if you're going to take your camera in and out, you still keep that rigidity in the camera cube when your camera's
on a day when you'll be like in and out of your bag a lot, you keep, for rigidity, you put the clips on there.
Yeah, like I'm saying, so when you're out and about and shooting a lot throughout the day.
If it's primarily your photo bag, you're going to probably want to clip it. If not,
it's like if you're in and out of it a lot.
Yeah, if it's primarily your photo bag, you're going to want to keep this clipped in, I think.
Yeah, Peak Design employees get paid hourly, so we really milk this.
Going into overtime right now.
Okay, this side. It's closed right now, but it doesn't have to.
So Art just rigged this out to be a small camera cube inside of the backpack here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show you the side access of that. Wrong side after you told me.
Wait, are there two small cubes in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. And one is rigged up and the other is just sitting in there just to fill up the bag.
Let's rewind real quick. So side access with the small camera cube real quick.
There it is.
And kept it closed right now, but just to show off again the uncinching here. And then there you go. As you can see, this is clipped in with the C-clips here. Primarily kind of you want to do it with a small camera cube, just keep it in place. And like our other camera cubes, this can tuck away underneath.
Yeah, you can just pop it, or you can kind of tuck it into the space.
Yeah,
something to note. Oh, yeah. No, that's a good feature to show off. So when Art and Soft Goods team were putting these things together, the foam is actually kind of segmented in the lid so that it facilitates folding without having to wrinkle up the foam or put weird creases into it. It's designed to tuck this away, which is pretty fantastic.
And then behind goes
All the way.
Oh, like this?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. So the creases are in the exact spot if you wanted to tuck it back like this.
Or inside.
Or inside of the bag.
I don't know why you want to do that. But
Yeah, which is, I think, easier on the small cube because you don't have to have a lengthwise divider. It's tougher on this one. Go back, show off that real quick. The side axis one more time. There's something I want to point out. with the C clips. So the C clips are right here. Oh, here, move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the side of the bag. There are places, so when we were looking at the large camera cube, all of those were on the back. That's where the C clip was. When you're doing side access with a small camera cube, this is the face that you want to stay secure, and you're attaching it to both the front panel of your bag and the back panel with those C clips.
Here, I'll open up the bag so you can kind of see it better.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one from the inside. Mark, what time is it?
4:12.
Overtime. Nice.
So just to highlight what Law was talking about there. So we actually have 2 small camera cubes rigged out differently, but for side access, we got it clipped up here on the top of the small camera cube.
And then this is oriented if you were doing back access with a small camera cube. In addition to side, you also could do back access with a small camera cube across the width of the bag. And you can do 2 side accesses too. You could mount this one sideways, lengthways rather, and go in from either side and have 2 compartments. You could take this 5-liter sling, put it in the top. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, the choice is yours.
I mean, you're ready for all occasions.
Yeah, any other hot questions up there? Fantastic.
One reason why you want to maybe do the 2 small camera cubes is I would have maybe like my DSLR kit in here, Mavic kit in here. Maybe one day I just want to be droning, so I'll just take this out and rig it up with some strap.
Yeah.
And take it out in the street.
That's a great use case.
Or same with just a DSLR if I didn't want to drone that day and I just wanted to take my camera out for the day.
Sweet. That's awesome. Art, any other thoughts about camera cubes? Any sort of closing thoughts about them? No? As always, if you guys have questions, continue to utilize the comments board and play nice with Adam Hicks and Stu. They're both being super helpful and patient. We will be updating the page to reflect a lot of the stuff we just talked about, primarily that 5-liter in Sage, which is super exciting, and the taking down that Phantom pick in the large camera cube. As you saw, we just don't really want to like push that too hard right now. Yeah, and that's it. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Oh, Art, you have to stop it now.
Bye.
Oh, no, like,
Especially off.
yeah, off.
Sorry, just looking at it.
Just
End Hangout.